So it's mock draft Monday, but I'll be honest with you. I don't think we're going to finish with the 17th overall pick. I think we need to go ahead and get that 32nd overall pick. I'm just saying. 'Cause I think, realistically speaking, we're going to finish with the 32nd overall pick. So, predicting 17th is going to be kind of way too high up this list here. Now, even without me very excited for the rest of our season right now under Jake Browning. We're at least going to beat the Vikings. The Vikings just beat the Raiders 3-0, and he scored in the final 2 minutes of the game. So I think, again, this is me thinking here, we should be fine on the idea of beating, the Minnesota Vikings. I think we could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if we beat those two teams, we're sitting probably outside of the 20. We're probably sitting 20 to 25, at least, if we win those two games. If we beat the Browns, easily that area. And then we're talking about playoffs, too, so then we could go even farther, depending on how far we go in the playoffs. So let's talk about this game, though. 17 right now. Last draft, I went a little bit extra. So the first draft we did, we went ahead and went with tackle. Last draft, we went away from tackle. We went actually with a cornerback. I really don't see us going away from tackle, I'll be honest with you. I think tackle is probably going to be the best option here, especially at this area, 17. Even if it's a little bit lower than this, like 25, 26. If, theoretically speaking, right? And by the way, look at this. You see this crap? Drake May has absolutely taken over Caleb Williams in a lot of different mock drafts. He's now considered the best quarterback in the class. That's why we do these mock drafts to see how things change over time. But if we're not going to get a top 5 pick, which at this point we can't, we're not going to get Brock Bowers. So at this point, might as well go tackle. And I'm probably going right back to our old option here and going with Fuga here. I think that's probably the best option. It gives us a nice right tackle who literally played majority right tackle in college, right? He's a great run blocker, good pass blocker. Going to have to work on that when he gets to the league. But I think overall wise, he's great in zone grade, decent gap grade. We're going to just have to develop him. Obviously, he's not coming from the biggest college possible, Oregon State here. But still, 6'6", 334 pounds. He's a big guy. I'm not against the idea of going with him in that situation. Again, like I said, could you go elsewhere? Absolutely. You could go with Jared Verse. You could get another pass rusher. But, I think they're going to try to figure out, Miles Murphy, get that to work out. You go with cornerback. That's another possibility. You go with Mims. You go with another tackles. Again, like I said, I just feel like first round, no matter what, you go with tackles here. And you kind of just go on from there. All right, second round. Now that we got a running back in Chase Brown who's pretty dang good, not really worrying about running back, are we? Now I'm worrying about more or less cornerback, especially with the fact we might lose Cheeto. Cam Taylor-Britt comes back next season. We have Cam Taylor-Britt now. Obviously, we have Mike Hilton still in the roster. He's still in the contract. We have DJ Turner. We need that number 4 corner. And honestly, why not go right back to the well here? Go back to a cornerback in the second round like we did last year. 6'1", 190 from Ohio State, the Buckeyes. We also have Auburn guy right here, which I really do like him too. There's a couple corners I like in the second round here. Overall wise, I will say I kind of like Denzel Burke a little bit better. Okay, so this guy played majority on corner, right? Slot, he played a little bit of. Defense on the D line, so like kind of in the box more. He played a little bit of snaps. Deep, not as much. So he's more or less just like, he's a box guy. That's exactly what I was trying to say. He played in the box. He didn't play up in the line of scrimmage much. He played mainly in the box, and he played at corner, outside corner pretty much. Cheeto is an outside corner, so that's kind of what we need to replace here. While same concept applies for Denzel Burks here. They're both the same exact height, pretty much the same exact size here. 160, and then he's 190. Ooh. See, that's the thing I like about him. Now, of course, run defense grade is, ironically enough, Burke is actually not really graded good in the run defense, and neither is DJ James. But based on looking at these guys and kind of studying their tape a little bit, I'm going Denzel Burke here. I wouldn't mind going with the Auburn guy, but I'm going to go with Denzel Burke there. So now we got a right tackle. We got a cornerback. All right, so I'm actually okay with going safety here. We got two Georgia Bulldogs here, back-to-back, really decent players. 5'11", 195, but at safety position, that's fine. And then we have Tyreek here, Smith, who I feel like is a little bit less of a version of the first guy, but he's also shorter. 5'10", 205. So I'm actually... Ooh, and then we also got Barron here, who's more good in the run defensive game. All these guys are very short, by the way. I'm going Georgia Bulldogs here. I'm gonna go Georgia Bulldogs here and get that man right there. I wouldn't be against the idea of going wide receiver here, to be honest, especially depending on how everything turns out with T. Higgins. And also, we don't utilize we don't utilize Chuck Sizzle. So, might as well get some new receiver in here, see how he can play for us, because at this point, that's exactly what we're probably going to have to do if we don't utilize, Chuck Sizzle, because we need a replacement for Tyler Boyd. All right, so this guy's mainly an outside guy, not really a slot guy. If we are getting someone, we probably want to get someone who's more or less, don't get me wrong, players can play, obviously. They can play slot, they can play outside, they can play both. But we want a guy who's really good for the slot, and I'm kind of looking down this list here. I don't think there's many guys who are really that good for the slot. Roman Wilson out of Michigan here is probably your best option for the slot receiver. Let's look at guard. I might look at interior offensive lineman here. Nah, I don't really like this guy. How about Limber? I know he's a big guy. He's 6'5", 307. Yeah, he's a big guy. He didn't play at a big college, Arkansas. Again, it's listen. Just because a guy didn't play at a big college does not mean they can't be successful in the NFL. But same time though, it definitely gives you a little indication of how much of a raw talent they truly are. And for example, Drake Nugent played center in college. That's all he's played in college was center. He's not the biggest guy possible, but for a center position, that's actually not that bad. This guy actually played multiple different areas here, but he's also not that good of a pass blocker, which, again, if we're going to replace Volson, which is, theoretically speaking, what we're doing here, is replacing Volson, you want to get somebody who can be a replacement here. We got A.J. Barnard, 6'6", 251, from Michigan. Okay. Nice little vertical threat tight end. I like that. We got Theo Johnson. Now, in the 4th round here, I'm not really too, I need to find the best tight end prospect possible. I, at this point, just kind of want to find a project that could work out for us. And again, we might just end up going with someone a little bit later on for that said reason. But, okay, I think I'm going to go back, and I'm going to find myself probably getting back to the original position here, wide receiver. And I might find myself going with Trey here. Not the biggest college in Mississippi here. I mean, it'd probably be smarter to go Alabama. I'm going to go Alabama. I'll go Alabama here. I'm not trying to chase the big college, but Alabama does produce some very good wide receivers in the NFL, so I'm going to have faith in them in that circumstance. I was kind of hoping this guy did actually drop to us. Cooper Beebe, again, another small college, but 6'4", 335 pounds here. He's a huge monster left guard, and that's exactly what we need. We need a left guard. He played left guard in college. He can play consistently at that position, and he's a big guy. And he could be a nice little replacement for Cordell Volson this next upcoming year. So I would not be against the idea there. Let me think. We went right tackle, left guard, wide receiver on offense. What else we need on offense? We don't really need another running back because Chase Brown's going to be our second string. I mean, I guess you could go with Frank Gore Jr. and just go with the plausibility that this is Frank Gore's son. So I'm pretty sure this is Frank Gore's son, or else this will be really weird. You know what? Give me Frank Gore Jr. I'm going Frank Gore Jr. I'm going son of Frank Gore. That might work out. That might not work out. That might just be a stupid pick. But you know what? I'm going Frank Gore Jr. here. 245, 6'4". Yeah, I'm going for a project. Seeing how it works out. That might not work out in the end, but it might work out in the end. Who knows? Sam Hartman, Notre Dame. Okay, if we don't bring back Browning, I wouldn't be against the idea of going with a backup quarterback for Joe here. And I'm going to finish it off with Brant here. Just another tight end, just to see how he works out. I'm not really a fan of keeping Mitchell Wilcox and Drew Sample. I think we could kind of move on from this tight end room. Keep Tanner Hudson, obviously, but move on with some other picks here. So I got a B+ overall grade-wise, so apparently Pro Football Focus does like my draft, which I think it was a pretty good draft. We got a franchise tackle here in the first round. I think that's pretty good. We got a really solid corner. I know they gave C-, but I think it's a really solid corner here. We also got a really good safety, a great receiver, a good guard to replace Wilson. Obviously, a third string back to replace, Chris Evans or Travion Williams. 2 new tight ends, a backup quarterback just in case we don't bring back Jake Browning. And I think it's a pretty dang good draft across the board. So tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.